So you've not cracked a good percentile in CAT and in the other exams, or are not expecting to get a good percentile. And therefore, the chances of you getting into a good B school this year seem very bleak. Now I know it can be very tough because I went to IIM Udaipur after 3 attempts. It was in my 3rd attempt that I went to IIM Udaipur. In my first attempt at CAT, I scored a 85 percentile. However, in XAT, I had scored a 98.3. In my 2nd attempt, I scored a 95 percentile in CAT, and then finally in the 3rd attempt, I scored a 98.9 percentile in CAT, after which I went to IIM Udaipur. So I know that what is it when you get a low percentile and when you know that this is not the year in which you're going to get into a B school. What is it that you should do and what should be the mindset? If you watched enough of my videos, you'd know that I speak a lot about the mindset. What should be your mindset if such is the case where you're not going to a B school in this year, and what can you do about this? How can you see this as an opportunity? Hi, I'm Darpan Saxena, an MBA graduate from IIM Udaipur, and let's get on with the video. So I don't intend to make this video a very long video because at this point of time in your life, I don't want to give you a lot of ज्ञान. ज्ञान की कमी नहीं मिल रही होगी आपको, बहुत लोगों ने ज्ञान दिया होगा कि अब आपको करना क्या चाहिए. But my attempt is to help you understand it from a different perspective, that if this year a brand college, a branded college, an IIM or some other good brand has not accepted you or is not going to accept you, then what is the other alternate option? Can you become a brand? Can you do the things independently of that B school and become a brand which is going to have the same or even more impact than what it would have been had you gone to that B school and taken up a placement? That is what my attempt has to be, that I want you to see another aspect of this, that yes, while surely you will be attempting the CAT again, you will be surely and you should be attempting it again if you think that yes, you can make it in the next year. However, in the meanwhile, there is something else which you need to think about in your mindset, which is that how can I become a brand if a branded college, if a brand has not accepted me? Now, for you to understand this, you need to understand one concept. And this is one thing which I have spoken about in a lot of my videos. And this concept is that suppose you were in a B school. If your aim from that B school is only to get the best placement, then my dear friend, you are doing a grave injustice to yourself, because a placement from a B school, no matter how good that B school is, it cannot be termed as the best outcome. There are certain other options which if you haven't explored, then how can you say that placement is the best outcome you could have got from that B school? No, that's wrong. And it's my attempt to help you understand that if placement is not the best outcome, then there is something else which could be a greater outcome than the placement, and for that outcome, probably you don't even require an MBA. So what exactly are those outcomes? Now, placement is unpredictable. So for you to understand this, you need to understand it in 2 different ways, or from 2 different standpoints. One is this thing, that the construct of a best placement from a B school is going to change, and it is going to be replaced by the best opportunities from a B school. What do I mean to say by that? I mean to say that the world is progressing towards gig economy. Now, if I am an organization, I might not need to hire somebody full-time as an employee for a certain project of mine. In fact, for a project of mine, I can hire the best talent in that particular skill, the best guy around the world, and I can just hire a chunk of his or her time. Which means that in this gig economy, somebody who's actually a superstar in his or her field, in his or her skill, they will shine because they will find opportunities around the world. Therefore, even when I speak to the students who are inside MBA, I always say to them that you need to become superstars in whatever skills you are choosing, whatever job role you choose, so that you can find out other opportunities, off-campus opportunities, or self-employment, a freedom lifestyle opportunities where you can be self-employed and take up such kind of freelancing assignments. Because once you become that superstar in your field, you would get the ultimate satisfaction of being able to maximize the outcomes from your MBA. And that is what my submission is to you, that the construct of a best placement will not be there, because eventually you as a student start to need to think, MBA student starts to need to think that from my MBA, how can I get a lot of opportunities to work with different companies? And once you have experienced that you've worked with different companies who want to work with you for your skill, then placement would start to seem a very smaller goal for you, because then you would be a worldwide global consultant who is a sought after global consultant. And trust me, companies around the world, entrepreneurs around the world want to work with bright young Indian talent. So I will give you the same advice which I give to my MBA students, that I tell my MBA students that you need not depend on the brand of your B school, because that can only get you a placement. And the second point which I wanted to share with you was that the placements are unpredictable. Which company will come to your B school is not in your hands. Whether you will get into a B school where your dream company comes is not in your hand. Whether that company comes to your B school and shortlists you is not in your hand. Whether after that shortlist you get into that interview room and are able to convince them that you are good is not in your hands. It is not in your hands. And whether after even your greatest efforts, if you get shortlisted or even if you get finally placed in that organization is not in your hand. Placements are very unpredictable. There are a lot of variables, and in the pandemic, you would have observed, or at least a lot of MBA students and MBA practitioners have observed, that MBA placements became very shaky when the pandemic had come. A lot of job offers and internship offers of some of the students from the best B schools, which includes IIM A, B, C, L, K, those offers were revoked. So my first point to you was that I anyways advise my MBA students to not depend on the college brand, because there are opportunities which you can get from your skills and worldwide opportunities. Simultaneously, you can work with the greatest brands around the world and get paid much more than what your placement is. Truly, you can do that. And the second point was that the placements, even if you want to go for the placements, they are unpredictable. So finally, my submission to you is that even if you have not been able to crack CAT, even if you have not been able to crack the B school which you wanted to crack, it's not a problem, because now is the opportunity for you to build all of those skills of the kind of life you want, or of the kind of work life which you want. And you can do it simply by going through the placement reports of your dream B school. Find out which is your dream company, which is the kind of company and job role which you would want to work in. Find out their JDs. In fact, what I'm speaking to you is from a course of mine, 5 Steps Ahead. You can find the link to it in the description. And in that course, I help you actually understand that how can you find out that what is your dream job role. And once you have found it, how can you find out that what are the skills which are required for that dream job role. This is exactly from my course. So once you've found out your dream job role from the placement reports, go and find the JDs of that role. And from those JDs, find out that what skills they are expecting. Start building those skills from online courses. Mostly these skills are going to be the digital skills which I always speak about, which I also speak about in my course 5 Steps Ahead. Now, once you have already started to build those skills, I want you to follow a universal principle which I also advise my MBA students, and that principle is of learn, do and teach, which means that while you are learning that skill, you need to also apply it somewhere. And where to apply it? You need to apply it on the freelancing assignments. You can make money while learning a skill because you can apply it on some assignment, on some internships, and while you're applying it, also document everything which you learn on your blog. Create a blog. That is very important, because eventually all of these 3 things together, learn, do and teach, will help you build your personal brand. Not only will it help you learn that skill in a good way, it will also help you build a personal brand. And that is exactly what that personal brand which I tell my MBA students to build. And most of them, they don't, because they depend too much on the B school. So I don't want you to think like that, hey, if I've not cracked a B school, then it's gonna be a problem. Sure, do try again, do try in the next attempt, but make sure that you're building your skill, make sure that you're building your personal brand, because You never even know that even without an MBA, you might be earning. If that is your objective to earn, if the placement was your objective, then you might be earning much more than an MBA grad would. It is exactly what my story is, that thanks to my sensibility during my MBA, I started my blog and I started having some freelancing assignments, and from that I was able to be in a place where even when my placements had not started, I had 3 job offers in my hand. I chose one of them, and within 1 year of me in that job, I was able to quit that job and choose this self-employment freedom lifestyle for my own self. So if that is your eventual aim, you can start off right now. Do not wait for it. This is an opportunity for you which will propel you towards greater heights, towards a lot more than you could have achieved in your MBA. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much and goodbye.